I'm getting revision plastic surgery in 3 days because I got botched in the last 2 surgeries that I got.
If you have a BBL booked, cancel it. Cancel it and then spend the money on a nice spa day, a nice therapy session, and perhaps a library card.
Let's talk aftercare. If you think that your surgery is going to be the most expensive thing, you are sadly mistaken. I have spent so much money since my surgery.
Getting a BBL at 16 ruined my life. I'm 22 now and I have already spent probably upwards of $90,000 on plastic surgery.
Hello everybody, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's Cynthia here, and guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about something that most women are now openly talking about: their botched BBL stories. From infections to uneven shapes to life-changing complications, a lot of women are speaking out and warning others about what really happens after the surgery. Now, this video isn't to judge anybody, it's to share real experiences, educate, and open up an honest conversation about the risks people don't talk about enough. Now, even though the BBL trend seemed to die down a little, it never fully went away. Women still get them done every single day. Surgeons' books are booked and full. But now there's a growing number of women saying, "I regret it. It wasn't worth it," or "My body hasn't been the same since." Social media, especially TikTok, has become the place where women feel safe enough to share their personal stories. And honestly, some of them are heartbreaking. Now, without wasting too much time, let's get right into this video. Okay guys, this is Cynthia from After the First Story. You guys should brace up because what you're about to hear, I'm not sure you're ready for it. So if this is something that you're not okay with, maybe you should take a break for now, because this video, I wasn't ready. But if you're ready, let's keep going.
Hi. I don't know how to get this started, but I'm just gonna say trigger warning. Gore. I'm getting revision plastic surgery in 3 days because I got botched in the last 2 surgeries that I got. One being a BBL and one being a breast reduction. We're gonna start with BBL and get the extra gruesome shit out of the way. So I went to Dallas to see the surgeon, and I found out after the fact that he is not board certified in plastic surgery. He's only board certified in internal medicine, which means he's had 0 surgical training, and I did not find this out until afterwards. So 2 of my friends have gone to him, and on his website it says board certified. So naive little me was like, great, it's cheap. He worked with my friends, they had no problem. Well, guess who had a problem? This guy. So this is what happened. He acted super tweaky, like the whole time he's talking, he just is a million miles an hour, and I'm just kind of like, whoa. But I'm just like, whatever, he did my friends, it should be fine. But that should have been a red light. Red light? Red flag. And then the second thing that was horrible, I was awake for the surgery. This is kind of common with BBLs, so I didn't really think much of it, but I was like wide awake. I looked down and I'm like out to here with all of the fluid that they pump inside of you to be able to do the lipo in the first place. I felt pinches up in here, so like I could feel it. It wasn't too painful, but I was like, owie, not great. But the worst part was when they flipped me over to inject the fat in my butt. I don't think he numbed me at all in my butt. I felt everything. You could feel the tube like ripping through my skin. And then when he pushed, like, I guess the button to release the fat to go out, and he's like pulling out, I could feel it going and expanding. And I'm on the table screaming and trying to get away, and they're just holding me down, being like, breathe in the laughing gas, and it's one of those little nose caps. So I'm just screaming and like put the whole thing in my mouth because I'm crying so hard, and they're just blasting the laughing gas and turning it off before, bless you, before I could even inhale it, I'm gonna get cut short. But part 2.
Oh my god, that sounded so scary. That sounded so scary. I thought they were supposed to numb her. Imagine feeling every single thing. Oh my god. Anyway, let's get right into the part 2 because she did make it part 2.
Okay, where did I leave off? They're holding me down. I'm trying to breathe in the laughing gas. I'm crying so hard. Like, there's snot and drool, and I'm screaming. I've never felt a pain like this before. And I can't inhale the laughing gas because I'm screaming so hard, and she keeps fucking turning it off. So they proceed, and they finish. And when they're done, they just pull my legs off the table and stand me up and go to shove me in this faja. And with each pull up they do, I see like blood and fat like squirting out of me. It was disgusting. And so I'm just bent over the table, just hysterically crying. And he goes and grabs my mom. And it was just like, okay, come get her. And so she comes in the room, and she just sees like the blood and shit everywhere, and me just bawling. They have her come into the surgical room. It's an office, and she gets me, and they basically just like hurried me out the door. She said he was all sweaty and looked fucking insane. So this part I barely remember, but they just put me in the car. I don't think they helped me to the car. Just my little tiny 5-foot mom puts me in the car. The only drugs I was given was Tylenol 4. And turns out, actually, that he's being investigated by the DEA and the FBI for filling prescriptions under his patients' names. And the next day, when I go in for my checkup, they take the faja off me so he can get his before and after photos, and then he shoves me back into it, blood and fat squirting again. And I was like, hey, do you have a BBL pillow? Like, that was supposed to be part of what I paid for. So he gives me a pillow from his office. Okay? It was just a long red pillow that was from the waiting room. Like, how gross is that? He told me not to get any lymphatic drainage massages. And when I called him 3 weeks after, telling him my neck looked like Freddy Krueger, it still kind of does in some spots, you can see in here. He told me not to go, because I was like, I'm gonna get a second opinion here in Denver. And he's like, don't go see any other doctor, they're just gonna tell you that it's botched. Red flag again. Why would they tell me it's botched if it's not botched, bro? So yeah, that's my story on how I got botched with my BBL. And now, I have like 20 seconds. I have extra fat here, and here that got displaced because he put fat where it didn't belong. So now I have to get liposuction redone to fix it. And that's my story for BBL.
Oh my goodness. So this was a long ride for me. I think it's just like a 3 minutes video, but it was a long ride for me. Oh, she went through it. She did go through it. This doctor just screams quack. They're telling her not to get a second opinion because they'll tell her it's botched. If you're sure of your work, why are you scared? Then the one that he gave her a random pillow from his office as a BBL pillow is insane. The most insane part of this is when she could feel him injecting the fat in her body. Anyway, guys, let's go right into the next story. So in the next story, we're going to see a woman that got a botched BBL and exercised her way through it to arrange her body. If I may, I don't, for lack of better words, guys, allow me to use that one. And after this video we're going to watch, we're going to hear her answer questions about the botched BBL in another video. So let's get right into it. Okay, so now let's get right into where she answered questions people asked her about this botched BBL.
Okay guys, so I thought it would be a good idea to come on here because I had so much feedback about my post BBL experience, the botched stomach, all of that, and I just want to answer some of the questions in the comments that I got on that initial video. So number one, I do want to say this. I got a BBL surgery because I just had my daughter. Probably I got it after a year she was born, and my body did not bounce back. I wasn't super overweight, but I wanted my waist back, and I went the lazy route. I'm not sitting here saying, woe is me and poor me. I went the lazy route. I 100% take full responsibility for the consequences after the BBL. Okay, so here's a picture of my stomach pre-BBL after my baby. So as you see, it wasn't crazy big. It wasn't like they had to take tons of pounds and pounds of fat off. It was literally probably like 5 or 6 pounds that needed to be removed. So like I said, I went the lazy route. I could have got my ass in the gym, but I wanted instant results, okay? And that was mistake number one. Mistake number two was not doing my research on the doctor, okay? Miami, not all Miami places, but Miami is specifically known as a chop shop, okay? So when I got to the doctor's, the room was filled with all of these women getting BBLs. When I woke up, first of all, I met my doctor 10 minutes before I went under. Why did I proceed through this surgery? I have no idea, but the money was already paid for, and I just wanted to get it done. I was a thirsty ass bitch, okay? So I wake up, there's tons of people sleeping next to me, all like woozy and stuff. I get wheelchaired out, pretty much still bleeding, okay? So not a great experience. After the surgery, I did all the post-op to-dos, okay? So I was doing all the necessary post-op things, okay? Post-op care is instrumental into having a smooth recovery, and I was well aware of that. So I had my massages booked. I had at least 15 to 20 massages, you guys. I was drinking all the right things. I was doing all the things. It wasn't until, for a while, I just thought I was still swollen, but after like 3, 4, 5 months and my stomach still looking all patchy and pockets of fat, I was like, okay, this is an error from the doctor. So, you know, I reached out to them. CG Cosmetics is where I had my surgery done. They were not helpful at all. They did not respond to me. I think it was when I went on social media and kind of talked about it, they replied back to me, but they were little to no help at all. So then I realized, like, okay, if I want to fix this, I'm going to have to be the one to fix it. So what I did was a challenge 75-day hard. That's what kicked it off. If you don't know what that is, Google it, but it's a very intense workout. You're working out twice a day. You're drinking a gallon of water. You're eating healthy. I was doing all the things that I probably should have did in the first place. I know that. Everyone that commented that on the video, I'm like, no shit, you guys. I'm not sitting here acting like a victim. Like, I take full responsibility that I did not do things the proper way. Anyway, the challenge kicked it off, and then I just started getting serious about the gym, okay? I started falling in love with working out, not just doing cardio, but lifting weight, because when you're lifting weights, you guys, you are burning calories as well. So I started lifting heavy. I mean, I'm not, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not like, you know, a powerhouse in the gym, but I'm working on it, okay? I started doing abs every single workout. I started watching what I eat, and I would do 20 to 25 minutes on the Stairmaster, and that is when I truly started seeing results. So that's kind of the backstory on the whole BBL experience. If you guys asked to see my workouts, I'll definitely start sharing those on my TikTok, so you guys can see kind of my journey in the gym. And then as far as like the BBL experience, would I recommend it? I would just say do your research. That would be my one piece of advice, is do your research. Make sure your doctor knows what they're doing, and not only that, if something is wrong, that they have a sense of urgency and they want to help you fix it. Because I spent close to 12 grand in the surgery, all the massages. I also did cool sculpting to get rid of it, the Airbnb. So it was a lot of money to be unhappy and not happy with my results. So that is a little bit more details about my BBL.
First of all, I am happy she came out to still tell the story. This just goes to show that at the end of the day, once you put your mind into working out and achieving the results you want to achieve, you'd achieve it. So before deciding to get surgery done, maybe, just maybe, think about working out.
Story time from when I got a BBL in El Paso, Texas, and was botched. So I'm not gonna lie, this is the third time I attempt to record this, and I'm just all over the place. But I just feel like I'm in a good place now to talk about what happened, and I'm no longer embarrassed to speak on it. So let's see where I start. So back in March of 2020, I had recently gotten out of a toxic relationship, so my self-esteem was very, very low. I was also overweight at that time, and I'm looking at pictures, like I've looked at pictures from back then now, like right before surgery, and I was very overweight, okay? I'm like, girl, like why didn't nobody tell me I was this overweight? Because at the moment, like I was good at hiding it, I guess, you know. You couldn't really tell, but I was overweight, and so my self-esteem was very low. I had no confidence, so I decided to get surgery. And the reason why I was able to get surgery was thanks to my father. He might see this video, so hi, Dad. Not because he paid for it, but because thanks to him, I had credit at a very young age. And sorry, Dad. I don't even know if he knows what happened or that this happened. But yeah, thanks to him, I was able to do it. And girl, I mean, like, imagine this. Like, you think that you're gonna go get surgery and you're just gonna be out of surgery and feel hot and feel like you can go and wear a bathing suit, wear a bikini, and just feel great. Like, you think that you're just gonna feel amazing, like, inside. And I guess it did give me a bit of self-confidence, but also after finding out that I was botched, like it just ruined it, you know. Surgery was very traumatic for me, like post-op. It was not easy, you know, to go through all that. It was very rough. So to go through all that, the post-op surgery, you know, very traumatic. And then having paid so much money, y luego para que no quedes bien, you know, like that to me was just, it really did suck. Like it honestly did. I enjoyed it, I guess. Like I didn't care after that. Like I still tried living my life and, you know, try doing me. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I just partied pretty much that whole year. Like I would go out. I was not very healthy. Like I was drinking a lot. I was just eating like crap. Like, you know, I mean, thankfully I didn't gain it back. Like I didn't gain the weight back completely. Like I feel like I just wasn't healthy. Like I just didn't care about life. You know, I was just like, screw this. Just got surgery. Let's go party. Let's go out. But anyways, now I'm doing this video mainly because January of this year, 2024, I just started a healthy like lifestyle, I guess you could say, or a fitness journey. Also, I just started going to the gym.
Okay, that video was a bit all over the place, but I understand that she had complications and all. But yes, she did make it part two. Hopefully, she talks about it in this one. Let's keep watching, guys.
Story time from when I got a BBL in El Paso, Texas, and was botched, part 2. Okay, so I was not expecting for my last video to get as many views as it did. So your girl's a little bit shy right now. But anyways, I just wanted to get this video out of the way. I'm gonna try and make it quick. And if there's anything that I do not cover, if you guys still have questions, please let me know. But I will be telling you guys who I went with, since that's what everybody wants to know, who did my surgery. You'll have to stay tuned to find out. Okay, so how was I botched? What happened? I have a lump on my left butt, my left butt cheek, I should say. So I guess you could say the best way to describe it is I have a pointy butt. You're looking at me from the side, this is only with no clothes on, okay? With clothes, it does not look the same. Clothes, you can't really tell, but this has to be strictly without clothes. I did get asked if I could show you, but I don't feel comfortable showing that right now. So I'm going to try and describe it the best way possible. Looking at me from the side, it looks like I have one pointy butt and then the other one just looks normal. From behind, it looks like a ball. Like just imagine a baseball inside of my butt sticking out, smaller than a baseball, but something like that. You know, you could see it. So long story short, after I woke up from surgery, I had been knocked out for quite a few hours, and the doctor's instructions where we had gone over like post-op, he had let me know, you know what, you're not gonna be able to lay on your butt, you're not gonna be able to sit on your butt for a few months after. I believe it was like 6 months, if I'm not mistaken, but nobody woke me up. I was knocked out. I remember when I woke up, my butt hurt. Like it felt so sore, it felt stiff, it felt hard right after surgery. And I remember the nurses were not nice. Please give me a minute. So the nurses were not nice at this hospital, and I did get it done at the hospital downtown. So I understand. I mean, the nurses were probably like, girl, this girl's just here for cosmetic purposes. You know, there's people who actually need us that, you know, it's a hospital. They're probably here for, they're injured or, you know, I don't know, whatever the reason may be. But I don't know if maybe the doctor didn't let them know that I have to be waking up, or I don't know, like maybe they're not even able to wake you up after you've been under anesthesia. Maybe your body just has to wake up on its own. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but, and this was never explained to me. Like, the thing is, I'm not sure, but when I woke up, I remember feeling that. So my theory is that, I think that because I was laying right after surgery, for so many hours, the fat just, you know, did not dissolve the way it was supposed to. That's what I think. Now, another theory that I have is that the doctor, I have heard that he is a bit aggressive with his patients. So, like with his lipo and, you know, with the injecting the fat, like he could have injected too much in one spot that it caused it to not, you know, dissolve because it was just too much in one area. I don't know. I'm not an expert. And I never got to the bottom of it. It was never explained to me. It could be because at that time, you know, I didn't feel confident enough to speak up or to ask the doctor questions. When I did go back to see him, he pretty much blamed me and told me that, you know, I told you not to sit on it. I told you not to lay on it. Anyways, he told me that I was not going to be able to sit on it, lay on it, you know, for a few months after surgery. So I even bought like a whole butt seat because I do work in an office. So, you know, so that way either I was working standing up. This was after I went back to work. Right after surgery, I was taken care of at home from my mom and my dad too. He was there. But my parents were taking care of me. So they saw, like, my mom knows that I did not sit on my butt. I did not lay on my butt. I was laying face down the whole time and I never sat on it. If I had to go somewhere, you know, I would use the butt seat where you just like sit on your legs pretty much, not on your butt. So, when I went back to him, he pretty much told me like, no, like, you know, made it seem like if it was my fault. Like, he didn't believe me when I told him that I did not sit on my butt. But also, you know, I could have spoken up more. I guess I just was not confident enough to like speak up and ask him questions and bring up the whole thing about the nurses and how, you know, I felt like after surgery, I was knocked out for a very long time and how I felt my butt hard and like stiff and numb like after I woke up because I had been sleeping on it for so long. So, you know, I just let things be. After that, I did get two other opinions from two other plastic surgeons, one from Juarez, another one here from El Paso. And both of them, their first thing that they asked me to do was to get x-rays because they wanted to see all the details. Like, they want to see if it's just one mass of fat, if there's two, the size of it, and if it is actually a mass of fat. So that was the first thing that they did. And I remember when I went back to my doctor, he was just like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. He like looked at it or whatever and he's like, okay, I can fix it. When do you want to schedule it? When do you want to do it? He's like, I'm not going to charge you, but you are going to have to pay hospital fees. You are going to have to pay your anesthesia. I don't know how to say that word. Okay, please don't mind that. The anesthesiologist or whatever. And, I was like, okay, no, like, he just did not give me a good vibe no more, because, you know, he was just like, okay, I could fix you, like, let me get it done, but I didn't trust him no more after this had happened, and he wasn't even, like, trying to explain to me. Literally, the other doctor that I went to in El Paso to get a second opinion, which was Dr. Worldwide, literally explained everything to me. He was super nice. He's like, look, if I do this, if we take it out, this can happen, or we can also, you know, put butt implants, which I was so not down for, but at least he was giving me like a plan A, B, and C, like telling me like what could happen, what could not. My doctor was just like, you know, like, I feel like it's all about the money with him. Like, he's so up in his head. And yeah, like, I don't care. Like, that's what I really truly think about him. Like, he's just so full of himself. Like, se cree la gran cosa. Se cree tan bueno él. Like, for real. I'm not even joking. And I guess I'll just tell you guys. So I went with Dr. Marco Gonzalez. That's who did my surgery. But anyway, so Dr. Worldwide, he was super nice. And then the other doctor in Juarez, he pretty much told me, like, you know what, I recommend you go back to who did your surgery, because once you've gotten work done and it got messed up or something happened, other surgeons are going to be scared to try and fix it, you know, or to put their hands on it. Like, they're just going to be scared to do it. So he recommended me to go back to my doctor. So, moral of the story, now that you guys know who I went with, you know, and I'm not saying, I know many of girls who have gone with him. I know a lot of people, some have had great experiences and some also bad experiences. I'm not going to speak on anybody else's work, you know, with him, like, because it's my choice to put my business out there, so I don't want to expose anybody else, but I've heard horror stories from other girls that have gone to him, and honestly, I've heard girls who had a great experience. Anyways, more of the story is that you guys just have to do your research no matter who you go with. Even if you go with the best doctor out there, this can happen. So there are risks to any sort of plastic surgery that you guys get done. Try to do your research and be mindful. Okay, you do need a good amount of money. Like, girl, do your research, as in, I know all of them charge a consultation fee, but it's okay. Like, those $300, $400, they're gonna save you, you know, a bigger amount of money in the long run. So that's my advice. I got to go now. Anyways, we'll see you. Bye.
The way she described her butt, oh my god, I can only imagine. Must be really, really, really horrific. And her registering at a gym to, at least help her with this whole thing seems like a really good idea, honestly. I don't know, guys. Some of these experiences are just wild.
Bella reveals that her last BBL could have unalived her.
Talking about surgeries, is there any other surgeries that you want to get done?
No, this is my last one, unfortunately. If I'm being honest, I would do another one.
Another BBL? She's
no,
like
crazy.
on her fourth round. Oh my god.
No, but
okay.
my last one, I had a really bad experience.
Why? ¿Qué pasó? Cuéntanos.
I lost a lot of blood during my surgery, and it has nothing to do with my surgeon. He was an amazing, amazing, amazing surgeon. And I wish I would have gone to him like the first two times, because there wouldn't have been around 3. But I lost during my surgery, and he says that he thinks it's because I had a lot of like scar tissue in there
from like the previous surgeries.
So I lost a lot of blood. My blood pressure dropped. It was literally at like 40.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Like
they rushed me to the emergency room. Thank God he was able to finish the surgery, because I'm like, imagine
they left you halfway. Yeah. Oh my god, that's scary.
Yeah, I was so out of it. Like the first 4 days in the hospital, like. I was like, obviously I knew I was alive and I wasn't like in a coma or anything, but like I was literally just there like asleep the whole day. Like I couldn't get up. Like I had no blood.
Yeah. Tú ni en cuenta de lo que estaba pasando.
I had to get blood transfusions. I knew I was in the hospital. None of my family knows about this. Like I was completely by myself. I went to go get the surgery by myself. Nobody knew.
Where'd you get it? In
Beverly
the States?
Hills, yeah.
Oh, Beverly Hills. Okay.
Nobody knew that I went to get the surgery. Nobody knew that I was in the hospital. So this is the first time everybody's hearing about this.
So tú te hubieras podido morir y nadie se hubiera dado cuenta.
Yeah, literally. Like even my doctor came and visited me in the hospital, and he's like, "You have to tell somebody. You have to tell your family." And I was like, "It's okay. I'm gonna be okay." But like, yeah, I was freaking out in the hospital. Like. When I would like gain consciousness, because like I could hear them obviously like in the emergency room, like just going crazy. Like they were literally like ripping my clothes off of me, cutting my clothes off of me, like sticking stuff off of me. And then they were there. I would hear them say like, "Oh, like I had to get a CAT scan of my body."
Okay, something is not adding up here. So she went through this, and in the initial part of this clip, she said if she's been honest, she would have gone through it again. Huh? I mean, she went through a lot.
Getting a BBL at 16 ruined my life. I'm 22 now, and I have already spent probably upwards of $90,000 on plastic surgery. Today I'm going to talk about the irreversible damage and answer some of y'all's questions. One of the top things that I saw people asking was to see the pictures anyways, because I didn't originally post the pictures of my butt implants flipping. I didn't post them because I don't think that TikTok would allow it because I didn't have pants on. If I could describe it to you, just imagine like a suction cup. You can go look up implants flipping and you'll see, but imagine it looked like a suction cup on my butt cheek rather than like a butt cheek. It was inverted and like a suction cup. It looked terrible, and I was walking around the Miami airport like that. TikTok would definitely remove it, but just, it was gnarly, trust me. In case you're new here, I have had 8 surgeries. I'm 22 and I started my plastic surgery journey at 16. At this point, I have spent, like I said, $90,000 on these surgeries, and that's not counting hotels, flights, medication, aftercare, complications, because at this point complications have cost me more than the surgeries themselves. Speaking of complications, I'm going to go over each surgery I've had and my complications or complaints that I have about those procedures. Everybody's recovery may look different. This is just what I have experienced. Obviously, some of the complications and complaints that I list are going to be more minor and others are going to be more severe, but I'm just going to go through each surgery and tell you the negatives of each surgery that I have experienced, because I have not had a single surgery that I can say I 100% didn't regret. I feel like complications is something that's not talked about enough in general. You see like the before and after pictures on social media and you're like, oh my god, wow, but you don't see what goes on behind the scenes in terms of the recovery process and how excruciating it can be, and the fact that there is a very high chance that there will be complications that are irreversible. So I'm here to raise awareness. Don't make the same mistakes I made. If you're dead set on getting plastic surgery, make sure you do your research. So we're gonna start out with my breasts. I've had my breasts done. When I got them done, the surgeon that did them put the implants on top of the muscle, which is very, very uncommon. It's almost always supposed to go underneath the muscle. I was a C cup prior to my surgery and I got 445 cc's, and I've seen other girls get 445 cc's and it does not look this big. They look absolutely massive. I'm not sure the reasoning for it. I don't know if it has to do with the fact that they were placed above the muscle. But that's the only difference between me and other girls that I've seen with 445 cc's is that mine are above the muscle. Quick little disclaimer while I'm editing. I am aware that the size of your breasts before the surgery can also have an impact on the end results. I'm saying I've compared me to people like me and my results are still drastically different. There was no lift done or internal bra when I got the implants, so my breasts have dropped significantly and the implants are like floating around again because they're on top of the muscle. So if I'm in bed at night laying on my side, my breast implants will flip. Like I said in that last video, I got buccal fat removal. I feel like it aged me quite a bit. I feel like my face looks a lot droopier than it used to and just overall not as youthful. I had armpit lipo. I think it made me look worse than if I had just not done it at all. I don't know what happened in the healing process. I'm assuming some sort of like fibrosis maybe, but it's like super lumpy and there's the tissue all in my armpits, and like I said, now it literally looks worse than if I had just left it alone. Rhinoplasty. Okay, so I feel like my sense of smell has gone down. Something has to be like right up under my nose for me to smell it. And on top of that, I have become a mouth breather post rhinoplasty, and I'm disgusted by it. For those of you who don't know, being a mouth breather comes with its own issues in itself. Hip implants, the worst, the worst. Like I said, I had nerve damage to the point where I was in discomfort 24 hours a day. Like it would wake me up out of my sleep. I talked about how the implants were sewn into my hip bone, and that was like where most of the pain came from. The pain came from them being sewn into my hips. The actual implant area down here wasn't super painful. The pain was all on that like stitch line. I did finally get them removed in July of this year. I have talked to 5 or 6 different surgeons and they have all told me that unfortunately I will never regain feeling in my hips. That nerve damage is irreversible. I will always have that like tingly, numb, like it almost feels like you're like how it feels when your foot is asleep. I feel that in my hips, and that is probably never gonna go away. So the damage that was done in my hips is irreversible even after removing them. Hip implants were 2.5 centimeters on both sides, so it was about 5 centimeters total. Now that I have them removed, I am dealing with loose skin, fluid buildups, and things like that that is expected to fix itself, but not guaranteed. I can finally run though, again. Now that I got them removed, my hip dips are coming back, and I cannot tell you how happy I am to see them. I wish that I would have appreciated them before. I'm gonna appreciate the fuck out of my hip dips this time around, and I am so sorry to my poor hips that I did this. Okay, then the butt implants. After dealing with the butt implants flipping, I have had to completely limit myself and rearrange my entire life to accommodate these butt implants. Every move I make throughout the day has to be calculated and thoroughly thought out. So you understand, I can't even do like crunches or sit-ups down on the ground, like even on a yoga mat, even on a thick padded yoga mat, I still am not able to do those exercises. Things like getting up out of bed in the morning cannot just be one swift movement. I have to actually lift myself up off my butt, scoot to the side of the bed, swing my legs off, all while still holding up my weight, and get out of the bed. I can't just do one swift movement, otherwise shit will go left. As for my original surgery, the BBL, which is a very popular surgery right now, everybody knows the bulletproof stomach. I would say that would be the only complaint that I have for my BBL, is that I did get some fibrosis on my stomach.
Starting her surgery life at that very young age was too bad. It was really too bad. At 16 years old, she had started getting all these procedures done. Guys, hear how much she spent on surgery. And she said she even spent more on complications than the actual surgery. So I think at the end of the day, this is just gonna make you keep spending more money as you go. So yes, guys, these are just a few of the stories I have come across on TikTok about women just sharing how botched they became after the procedure and trying to create awareness to other people. I really hope and pray that before people make the decision to come to getting a surgery, they should always consider exercise. There is nothing you won't set your mind to do that you won't achieve, especially if it is with exercise. Now, from the second lady, she just went straight ahead and said she wished she had done exercises before going to have to book her BBL. Now, guys, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. And yes, beautiful people, I've come to the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, do not forget to give the video a fat thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.